Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to our show here today on we are on season 3, episode 4, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to my show. We are right now going on um, we are now streaming right now on TikTok live. So you guys could go watch that. But we will be moving on and we are going to be going over 3 segments that we have for you guys today. First up, we're going to be going over some NBA, some NHL, and we're actually going to change things up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be going over some WWE because, man, what a WrestleMania 40 did we have on display for us Saturday and Sunday. So we'll get to that. We'll get to the wins, the losses, and all the bunch of the good stuff there. But let's first go over the NBA. So with the NBA side of things, we are going with some different stuff. We're going to be going over the playoff atmosphere and the playoff schedule slash bracket right now. We only have 3 games left in the NBA season. And we're going to get you guys right there. So right now, we're going to be going over what are the matchups going into the NBA playoffs. So first up, the first round. Let's start with the play-in tournament. The play-in tournament is kind of a tricky one. So the play-in tournament right now, you have my Los Angeles Lakers in the play-in tournament at the 9 spot, and then you have the Warriors at the 10 spot. So the 9 and the 10 spot, we're going neck and neck. I mean, the Lakers are 45 and 35. They just came off 2 straight losses to the Timberwolves by 10 and the Warriors by 14 last night. I mean, I would not be saying anything. The Lakers are a formidable opponent. I don't want to hear anything. We just had a kind of a shitty. I wouldn't say like. I mean, we're on a pretty shitty 2-game stretch right now with the Lakers. We first game against the Timberwolves. Exactly. So right here, Aiden on TikTok Live goes out and says that with the Lakers, they are a solid team when healthy. He is definitely correct. I would agree with that. So I would probably say against the Timberwolves, we really were probably going to beat the brakes off of them. I mean, it was going to be a good game, but I think we would end up beating them by about double digits. But Anthony Davis decides to get poked in the eye for the 3rd straight time this year in the same eye. I don't know how you can get poked in the eye 3 straight times, but hey, he got poked in the eye. So he went out at the end of the first quarter, and we could not get anything going really offensively without LeBron James because of flu-like symptoms that game. He goes down, we lose. Then into the Warriors game, he actually is out of the lineup relatively late. They said that he had nausea and a headache, so he was out of the lineup. So LeBron was by himself. And who would have thought? I mean, LeBron has done it before when he's taken down the Warriors by himself. We thought it was something. I thought it was something similar was going to happen last night, and that did not. I mean, the Warriors hit over 20-something threes. They were on a clinic last night. Draymond went 4 for 5 from 3. No, I think it was 5 for 5 from 3. It's remarkable. 5 for 6. It's crazy how he is actually can do those bursts. I mean, I was looking at 2016 Draymond. Like, I was like, wait, what the hell? How is Draymond still doing this type of stuff? But other than that, I mean, you really cannot compete with that type of performance by Draymond. So, I mean, you're going to take those, even though it's a loss, just take it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he ain't doing that again. He's not doing that on a consistent basis. It's not happening. Now, in all, 9 and 10, if it does see that we are the 9th seed and we are going to be that 9th seed to playing the tournament against Steph Curry, it's a 1-game situation. I mean, if you're the 10th seed and you lose, you're done. If you're the 9th seed, I believe you play the loser of the 7 and 8, and then whoever that is gets the 7th seed. So you're still in the play-in tournament. If we get to the 6th spot, you're out of the play-in tournament. If you get to the 6th spot, the 6th spot right now are the Pelicans. So we have the 9 and 10, which is the play-in of the Lakers and the Warriors. The 7 and 8 is the Suns, and the Kings is 7. Is the Suns, Kings are 8. The Pelicans are 6. The Mavericks are 5. The Clippers are 4. OKC's 3. Denver's 2. Minnesota's 1. We're having a matchup tonight between the two number 1 teams in the West. Both have the same record in the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. It's going to be one hell of a matchup. We got 3 games left. The Suns have been losing some games. We're right there on the cusp of getting to that 6th spot. Do I think the Lakers will make the next 3 games somewhat of a 3-game win streak before we go into the playoffs? I hope so. I would think that we would try to do that, but that all starts with health. I mean, we need to make sure Anthony Davis is up and about. He's actually playing right, because he keeps getting poked in the eye. It's not going to do well. I've been pushing for him to just wear glasses, like turn into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and just wear glasses, because I mean, like, dude, you can't keep jeopardizing the team by keep going out and just getting poked in the eye and they can't come back in the game. I mean, I'm not saying he's making it up, but man, like come on, bro. It's been 3 straight times now. It's like no more excuses. Like, let's just keep rolling. Come on, let's go. Let's move on. So that's the rundown of the first of the top 10 seeds in the first round of the West. Let's go to the East now, where we have a 9 and 10 matchup of the Bulls at 9, 10 are at Hawks. Then you have the 76ers at 7, Heat are at 8. Then you have the Pacers at 6, Cavs at 5, Magic at 4, Knicks at 3, Bucks at 2, Celtics at 1. The Hawks, they got Trae Young back, hopefully, before the play-in tournament starts. The Bulls. So right now, the winner of the 9 and 10 would be the 8th seed. The loser of the 7 and 8. So the winner of the 9 and 10 play the loser of the 7 and 8, and whoever wins that will go on to be the 8th seed. If you're a 7 and 8, you just play one game and then you move on. If you win, you move on to the 7th seed. So that's how it goes. So same thing for the East. So I'm going to make my picks. Obviously, I'm going to go back to the picks, but for the play-in tournament, which is happening very soon, I believe the play-in tournament, I think that the playoffs start the 20th. I think the play-in tournament is between the 16th and the 19th. So right here, I'm going to make my picks. If it is a 9 and 10 matchup between the Lakers and Warriors, I have the Lakers winning. If it is a 7 and 8 matchup between the Suns and the Kings, I'm going to take the Suns winning that game. Actually, no, I'm going to take the Kings winning that game to advance to the 7th seed, and I'm going to take the Suns versus the Lakers, and I'm going to take the Lakers. But if the Lakers do get that 7 or 8th, or maybe push for the 6th, because we do have a matchup at the end playing against the Pelicans, who are 6th. So if we can get 3 straight wins, which, if I'm not mistaken, we don't play that bad of competition in the next 3 games. I mean, we could have went 5-0. We had that Timberwolves game. If Anthony Davis plays, we win. If Anthony Davis plays, last night we win. It's no doubt about it. If we win these 2 games, I mean, bro, we could have afforded to maybe lose the last game, but I think you want to go into the playoffs on a good note, not going into the play-in tournament or the playoffs on a bad note, on a losing streak. So let's get the moving going. So that's for the West side of things. So I would have the Lakers being the 8th seed, playing the Timberwolves the first round. I would have the Clippers playing the Mavericks, Pelicans playing OKC, and I would have Sacramento playing Denver, if that's how it goes. Now, if it's switched, I would probably have the Lakers playing Denver in the first round, because they would either be the 7 or 8 spot. And then I would have the Warriors beating it would probably have to be the Warriors being the 9th seed. So the Lakers would probably, if the Lakers move, the Pelicans would be down and probably would be with the Pelicans versus Suns, 7 and 8, and then it would be Kings Warriors. So that would be a pretty good matchup. I'd probably go with the Warriors over the Kings. And then advancing, I probably would go with the Pelicans over the Suns, and then the Pelicans beating the Warriors, where the Pelicans would play Timberwolves, and that's how that would go. But no matter what seed we are, 7 or 8 going into the playoffs, I always, of course, have my Lakers winning that series. If we play Denver, I want to play Denver. I really do. I think you might think I'm retarded, but I actually want to play Denver. I think we actually have a really good chance to beat any team in the West. I'm not scared of any team. The only team is the Nuggets, and I want to get them out of the way now when AD, LeBron are fresh and ready to rumble, because we can deal with LeBron or AD not being fresh against a Timberwolves team, against a Clipper team, against a Maverick team, against OKC or a Pelican team. We can't afford them to be gassed against the Nuggets. We need them to be fully at strength and healthy to play the Nuggets if we do end up playing them in the first round as the 7th seed. But nonetheless, this is going to be one great playoffs run for not just the Lakers, but for just in general teams. Can't wait to see how great. I mean, we got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond on the Warriors. Got LeBron, AD, D'Lo on the Lakers. You got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant on the Suns. You got De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and Malik Monk on the Kings. You got the defending champs. You got Nikola Jokic. You got Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Pelicans, you got Zion, CJ, Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas. OKC, Chet Holmgren, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort. Dallas, you got Luka, Kyrie. Clippers, you got Paul George, Kawhi. Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. Timberwolves, you got Kat, you got Rudy, you got Anthony Edwards, Mike Conley. So that's the West. I mean, we're loaded with talent in the West in this playoffs. Can't wait for that. Now for the East side of things, Atlanta Bulls. I'm gonna take the Bulls. I don't know, man. The Bulls are a little bit of an ups and downs. I might go with Atlanta. I like the Illinois, but I gotta see Trae Young back, so I'm gonna go with the Bulls. I don't think Trae Young's gonna be a little rusty, and it's a 1-game series. I got the Bulls. And then I'm going to go with the 76ers playing against the Bucks. I got Miami taking on the Bulls, and then Miami playing Boston in the first round. I mean, if you look at this, just the whole playoff picture in general, it'd be the first round be Boston versus Miami, rematch again from last year. Can't wait for that first round. Then you got the Bucks versus the 76ers, rematch of that again. I mean, that's going to be a hell of a series. Pacers, Knicks, Cavs, Magic. Damn, I mean, let's go down the list of the East. You got Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Bogdanovich as well. You got Chicago, you have Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan. 76ers, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Buddy Hield, Tucker, PJ Tucker. I mean, you got a list of dudes, bro. Kelly Oubre, Miami, Jimmy Buckets, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Bucks, you got Giannis, Middleton, Lopez, Dame. Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner. I mean, damn, bro. Knicks, you had Julius Randle. He's out for the season. But you got Brunson. You got Hart. You got freaking, you got OG, Anunoby. I mean, the Cavs, you got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Max Strus, Evan Mobley. I mean, damn. The Magic, you got Suggs. You got Banchero. I mean, you got Markelle Fultz. I mean, god damn. And then in Boston, we know who's in Boston. You got JT. You got JB, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Drew Holiday. I mean, Jesus. And not to mention the Suns, they got Grayson Allen too. I mean, man, we loaded East and West. I mean, the West, man, they really loaded. But the East, man, they're loaded too. But, man, you look at the boys in the West, shoot. Man, shit. That freaking, the West, they got some dogs in there. So it's going to be something. The East got some dogs too. Not gonna diminish them. But, I mean, you look at all the best players on each of their teams. They got like three to four best players on each of those teams for for the West. For the best, I mean, the best team, you got to go with Boston. They got like everybody, man. Their starting five is like legit. Like they're like on top. So it's gonna be something. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be really something. But we are now gonna be moving on to our next story, and that is gonna be going over the NHL. We're gonna go over the Eastern Conference playoff bracket. We're going to be going over the NHL Western Conference playoff bracket. Right now, if the season ended, I mean, we still got, I think, 11 more games left or 11 more days left till the playoffs. So we're right around the corner. Can't wait for it. So first up, in the Eastern Conference playoffs, we have a pretty good matchups. First up, here is how the Eastern Conference playoff bracket would look if the season ended April 9th, which was yesterday. The New York Rangers are number one. They would be playing the Washington Capitals, which is wild card number 2. The Hurricanes are the second seed. They will be playing wild card they will be the third seed. Boston, A1, Tampa Bay, wild card number 1. So it'd be Bruins versus the Lightning, first round. Hurricanes versus Islanders, first round. Rangers versus Capitals, first round. Then you would have the Florida Panthers taking on the Maple Leafs as well. And that's the first round. The winner of the first series would play the winner of the second. The winner of the third series would play the winner of the fourth. So the winner of the first series, so Rangers win, would play the winner of the second. So we would either play the Hurricanes or the Islanders. The winner of the third place series will play the fourth. So it would either probably be Boston and Florida. So it would be rematch from last year. It would be Boston and Florida and then it would be the Rangers and the Hurricanes in the second round of the NHL playoffs. That's some great thing. I can't wait to see Florida beat Boston again for the second time this year. I think they got the team they have the team to sweep them. They're really good. Then the Rangers are playing the Capitals. They'll be playing the Hurricanes. I don't think the Islanders are beating the Hurricanes. So it'll be Rangers, Hurricanes. We didn't get to play the Hurricanes last year. The Devils did, and we saw what happened there. Hurricanes were a pretty big powerhouse last year, but then they ran into the Panthers, and the Panthers shut them down. So I'm going to take the Rangers, and I think it's going to be Rangers-Panthers in the third round to go, I believe, to the Stanley Cup. That would be that. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a really good matchup. And then now we'll go to the Western Conference things. Before we get there, a little bit more on the East. Like I said, I think the Rangers and the Panthers are going to be the best teams coming out. No matter which team comes out, obviously I'm a Rangers fan through and through. But my second favorite team, because of my cameraman Kevin and his dad, they are Panthers fans. And last year I like to go for the underdogs, and they were an underdog story, no doubt. Anyone who knows me on the show, on TikTok Live right now, you know me. I'm an underdog guy. I like to go for the underdogs. Like my Lakers, they're underdogs. I like going for the underdogs without a doubt, especially if they're not my team. I'm going to go for the underdogs. So I'm going for even though the Panthers are not the underdogs. Last year, they were big time, and I picked them to beat Boston. I picked them to go all the way to the Stanley Cup, and I thought they had the chance to win it, and they did. They had every chance to win the Stanley Cup, but they ran into some different things. Their goalie weren't playing that well. Their rotation wasn't that well against Vegas, and Vegas got the win. They deserved it, but I think it's going to be a matchup between the New York Rangers versus the Florida Panthers to go to the Stanley Cup. And I think there's no other way to have one of the best series ever. I mean, if Boston does win, it would be a great series, no matter if it's the Rangers versus Boston or the Rangers versus Panthers. But I want the Panthers versus the Rangers, because at least, I'm not saying we are, but if we do play like crap, because last year we went up big against the Devils and they came back and got us. So we have a notice of doing that type of bull crap. So if we don't win, at least I have a team that I can root for to win it all, which is the Panthers. That's how my thing. But I also think they're the better team than Boston. I really do. I think the Panthers, other than the Rangers in our conference, is the second best team behind the Rangers. And that's proven, and that's right. And even though the Panthers have gotten us, but we gotten them back, and it's going to be a hell of a series. And that series is going 7. Panthers, Rangers, it's going to go all 7. And whoever wins. But I'm going to take my Rangers. Now, we'll have more on the playoffs as they go each round. We'll be doing a whole show on each of the rounds coming up. But now moving to the Western side of things, there's a little bit more of a difference. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are like, I mean, in the East, you have the Bruins, you have the Panthers, you have the Rangers, and you have the Hurricanes. That's it. The wildcard teams, they suck. They're not doing nothing. And then after that, it's just the Rangers and the Panthers. This here, you have a lot. The Golden Knights, Vegas, they went downhill pretty big. They're not as good as they were last year. Not even close. They have the same team, which is weird, but they're not as good. They're playing Dallas. I would not be surprised if there's an upset. So you have Dallas versus Vegas, who's actually a wild card now. They weren't a wild card. They were the best team. They were the best seed last year. So they are a wild card this year, wild card number 2. So Dallas would play Vegas. Avalanche would play the Jets. Vancouver would play the Predators, who's wild card 1. And the Predators have been playing really well. That just shows. The Oilers would play the Kings. I'm sorry, whoever's a Kings fan out there, they're not doing nothing. The Oilers are going to destroy that. I just don't like it. They have at least like 15 overtime/shootout losses. And it's like, bro, like, what are you doing, man? So, like, it just shows you they can't finish games. Like, if you look at the Panthers and the Rangers, we don't have that many. We finish games. We actually finish games. Some teams have so many. It's like, oh yeah, they're 35, 15, or like they're 38, 15, and 10. Like, bro, you don't want to see that 10 at the end. You want to see like a lower than 8. Because that just shows you they finish games. They don't let games prolong and then just keep going and going and going. And then they got to fight and fight and fight. So if I'm picking this, it would be the winner of the first series, which I'm probably going to go with Dallas. I don't think Vegas is winning anything. I'm sorry. The defending champs, I think they're going out early. I got Dallas winning against Vegas. Who would play the winner of the second, which would it's the Avalanche versus the Jets. Now, this is a bit of a tough one because I like the Avalanche, but I do like the Jets. And I think there's going to be an upset here. And I'm going to take Winnipeg. So I'm going to go with Dallas versus Winnipeg in the next round. So you have the winner of the first series play the winner of the second. Then you have the winner of the third series would play the fourth. So I'm going to take Vancouver. I like the Predators. I think next year they're going to be even better. I like the Canucks this year. I think the Canucks are one of the best teams in both conferences. But I like the Canucks beating the Predators, and then they would be facing the Oilers. LA is not winning. It's Vancouver versus the Oilers, and it's Dallas versus Winnipeg. And then that goes there. I'm going to probably go with Dallas winning against Winnipeg, and I'm probably going to go with the Canucks beating the Oilers, and that will set up a matchup between the 1 versus the 1. Same thing there. So I think Dallas plays Vancouver to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, where it's Rangers versus Panthers. I think both of those conference finals to go to the Stanley Cup are much better than any other matchup you can put together. I'm sorry, that's just my professional opinion on it. If you have watched any games, I have watched a Stars game. I've watched the Vegas game. I've watched an Avalanche game. I've watched the Winnipeg game. I've watched every game for every team in the playoffs right now. And I'm letting you know that the teams that I've just picked are the right teams that should be in that conference finals to go to the Stanley Cup. Rangers versus Panthers, Canucks versus Stars. That's what I'm going with. And then if I got to pick, I'm going to take my Rangers and I'm going to take the Canucks. So the Stanley Cup Finals would be the New York Rangers versus the Vancouver Canucks, where obviously I'm taking my Rangers, of course. But we have proven to beat every team. The only team that we've had really struggles with this year have actually been the Panthers. So if we get past them, I have no problem with saying that we're going to win it all. But it's got to be this year. It's got to be this year. There's no early exits from the playoffs because then Lindy Ruff is, I don't know. Our Ruffy guy, he might be gone. He might be gone. He might be gone.
Lindy Ruff on the Devils.
I know. He might be gone too.
Lindy Ruff is gone.
I know. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm playing jokes, bro. That's what you got to do with the podcast. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Like the hell? Sorry, my cameraman's kind of stupid because he thinks I'm just like fucking around. I'm just fucking around. Don't let me get me banned off TikTok, please, because once I start cursing, then they just ban me. So that's how the playoff is gonna go. I kind of like my picks there. You guys let me know in the comment section and here on TikTok Live if you guys understand and kind of get the swing of what I'm going with. For the NBA playoffs, like I said, I would have picked them, but we don't know exactly what is happening. And we don't know what's exactly happening here. This is just if the season ended now. We still have a couple more games left. I believe we got 3 or 4 more games left in the season, just like the NBA. So we'll do another one of these a couple weeks down the line. Actually, probably in the next week and a half because the season for the NBA playing tournaments start the 16th of April. And I believe the NHL is a couple days after that. The start of the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting. But those are what I have picks for the NHL. We're moving on from the NHL playoff predictions. From the NBA playoff predictions, we are now going into something new and different. And I haven't done this in a while. And really, we're going into some WWE action right here, ladies and gentlemen. Because I actually cannot fathom on how great, how awesome the WWE was on Sunday and Saturday. I mean, Saturday and Sunday. It was remarkable. I mean, let's just start with the obvious. If you guys have not known, and we were going to do it on Recap Monday, but I kind of wanted to give it its own segment. No rush. Just go all into it. So first up, Cody Rhodes. He finally finished the story, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't been watching the WWE, and I really haven't. I used to be a huge WWE fan. I still kept track on the Snapchat and the TikToks and all that stuff. I always kept track. So I always kind of knew what was going on. But man, if you guys missed out on the WWE, and I know it's scripted and I know it's all the bull crap and everyone's going to say what, but if you actually paid attention when you were a child and you actually cared, the people who cared know what I'm talking about. The WWE was that shit back then. And to be honest, it's coming back. I think it's much better than it's been in a while. The Roman Reigns era is over, but man, what a ride the Tribal Chief was on. I think it was 1,316 days as the unified champion of both belts. I mean, that's remarkable. And he put it on the test. Saturday, it was The Rock, Roman versus Seth freaking Rollins and Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. And they actually lost. And a lot of people were saying because they lost, Tribal Chief was going to do it. But since they lost, I knew they were going to give it to Cody and he was going to win it. And people might say, oh, it's scripted. Why are you talking about it on a sports show? But it is sports. It is athleticism. I mean, it takes heart, dedication, and hard work to really do that on a nightly basis and a weekly basis. So I give them all the credit in the world. They have to be super athletic. They have to work at it. It's not just like you show up and you just do. So let's get right to it. Cody Rhodes finally finished the story at WrestleMania 40. Rhodes with the assistance of Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, John Cena, and The Undertaker. That's why this was such a huge WrestleMania. It's probably, I'm going to say it was the best WrestleMania of all time. Not even close. I mean, you got John Cena, you have The Rock, you have The Undertaker making a surprise thing. No one in the world knew that Undertaker was gonna be there because he's WrestleMania. Then you got Roman Reigns, who's had the fourth longest streak of holding a WWE World Champion, and that's ridiculous. And then you got Cody Rhodes, which has his incredible family of Dusty Rhodes and all these guys. So the fact that he was there along with Roman Reigns, Undertaker, John Cena. You got the longest tag team champions in Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, the best announcer, whatever you want to call him, enthusiast, like anything you want to call him, he's the best. You got all the Hall of Famers there. I mean, it was remarkable. I mean, Philadelphia State where the Eagles play was just packed. I mean, that's just the main event. We had some crazy events Saturday and Sunday, but first off, managed to defeat Roman Reigns to win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Rhodes had been on a mission since leaving the WWE in 2016 to prove himself on an independent scene and creating an all-elite wrestling in the process. Rhodes returned as WrestleMania 38 and quickly called his shot, wanting to win the World Championship that consistently eluded his legendary father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Rhodes had the deck stacked against him, though, from the get-go, as his match with Reigns was conducted under the Bloodline rules, meaning no disqualification, and gave Reigns' Bloodline faction of the freedom to intervene with the consequence. Luckily, Rhodes had his own group of friends and legends backing him up to keep things from getting out of hand. Rhodes came up short in his first attempt to finish the story, losing to Reigns in the main event at WrestleMania 39 last year. Rhodes just had he done in 2023 run this year's Royal Rumble. So I think it was the first time anybody or in a while that somebody has won back-to-back Royal Rumbles, and Cody Rhodes did that. That is ridiculously hard. Now, won this year's Royal Rumble to earn his second shot and made it a good opportunity, ending the Reigns run as world champion at 1,317 days as champion. Elsewhere on the card, Damian Priest, who is no longer senior Money in the Bank. He is now senior award heavyweight champion. Priest took advantage of the weakened Drew McIntyre after the Scotsman defeated Seth Rollins and began taunting CM Punk at ringside. Punk removed his arm brace and battered Drew McIntyre with it before Priest came in and delivered a massive choke slam to secure the title. CBS Sports was with you the entire way through the historic night of WrestleMania 40, providing full recaps, results, and grades, which can be read below. Now, obviously, man, the World Heavyweight Championship, we're going to go over piece by piece. First up, Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre was an instant classic. McIntyre hit the Claymore as soon as the bell rang, leading to a quick near fall. McIntyre took the fight to Rollins on the floor with a belly-to-belly suplex before driving him into the ring post. But Rollins came back with the pedigree before a stomp. McIntyre re-entered the ring. Rollins couldn't countered another Claymore with a second pedigree and then second stomp for 2 count. Rollins' injured knee repeatedly troubled him throughout the match, including when he missed a stomp from the top rope, allowing McIntyre to hit a future shock DDT. For his own near fall, McIntyre taunted CM Punk commentary by signing for the go to sleep, but Rollins escaped only to be struck by another Claymore for yet another near fall. Rollins delivered yet another stomp, this time on the commentary desk, and moments later, McIntyre hit yet another Claymore, but again was unable to get the pin. Another Claymore followed, however, and McIntyre scored the pin, win, and championship. Those two packed a lot in here, hitting a finishers at an extraordinary high rate before McIntyre finally picked up the win, getting a world title win at WrestleMania in front of fans, something he did not get to experience when winning the title at WrestleMania in 2020 because obviously we were in COVID. Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins via pinfall to win the title. Grade, I would give it a B- or a B. But then Damian Priest would come in and choke slam the crap out of him and then take the championship away. So that's why I would probably give it a B because he didn't retain it. Moving from that, you have the World Heavyweight Championship when Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. After the match, like I said, McIntyre went to commentary desk and celebrated while joying at CM Punk. After some back and forth, Punk swept McIntyre's legs out, causing him to hit his face with it. This brought Priest running out from the back with his Money in the Bank briefcase. After smashing the briefcase on McIntyre's head, Priest cashed it in. South of Heaven chokeslam and pinned McIntyre to win the championship. Not much of a match to grade here, but the way this will full McIntyre's issues with Punk is certainly intriguing. Damian Priest defeated Drew McIntyre via pinfall to win the title. That I'd probably give it a C because there was no matchup. It was just bullcrap. Now I'm not gonna go. Then you got the Final Testament, Karan Cross, authors of Pain, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, Philadelphia Street Fight. I'm not really caring about that one. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. They actually had a problem with the police because LA Knight actually showed up on AJ Styles' home property and beat the crap out of him. Now, Styles went after Knight's knee from early moments of the match, grounding him and slowing things down. Knight quietly turned things around with some clotheslines and kicks before a superplex was countered, allowing Styles to take things back over. Knight hit a German suplex from the top rope, but shortly after Style back at Choco again, working over Knight's knee, including wrapping it around the ring post. After Knight to fight back, he removed some of the ringside padding, but Styles reversed a pile driver into a backdrop and nearly won by countout. Knight countered a springboard 450 by getting his knees up. Styles countered by a BFT, nearly hitting a Styles clash, but Knight had a counter of his own. Moments later, Knight countered Styles again, this time setting up for the match-winning BFT. The match was nothing special, but was at the same time perfectly fine as a wrestling match. Knight was the right guy to get the win since he needed the boost, and Styles is in the club of WWE's made guys. LA Knight defeated AJ Styles via pinfall. It was an okay match. I'd probably give it a C+. Now, United States champion Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton. Now, this one was a monster one. Paul immediately slid out of the ring, telling Owens and Orton to fight. Instead of the challengers followed him outside and delivered punches and chops before taking turns bouncing his head, bouncing his head, Paul's head off the ring board. Upon Orton and Owens continued the double teaming until finally realizing it would have to break down into a fight when both tried to pin Paul. Orton tried to sneak in a RKO on Owens, but was fought off, and they agreed to do it now and started to brawl. Paul took advantage with a double clothesline, and the match fully picked up into a standard triple threat flow. Paul eventually tried to top rope suplex, but was countered by Owens into a huge power slam for a 2 count. Owens tried to follow up with a stunner on Orton, but Orton countered into an RKO for a 2 count. Paul re-entered the ring with the brass knuckles, but Orton avoided the first attempt to use the weapon before landing his second shot. Despite using the brass knuckles, Paul only keep Orton down for 2 count. Paul then tagged Owens with the knucks before trying to hit Orton again, only to be hit with an RKO. Orton took the knucks, but chose to give them to the referee instead of using them and set up for the punt. But streamer I Show Speed inside the Prime mascot costume pulled Paul from the ring. Orton hit I Show Speed with an RKO on the commentary desk. The chaos led to Paul hitting Owens with a huge frog splash. Paul hitting Owens with a huge frog splash to a 3 count, overbooked in the right way. The match did what it needed to do, though Paul involving streamers, the bulk of the audience outside of the youngest demographic, are unlikely to know, will always kind of miss the level of impact they're going for. Logan Paul defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to retain the title. I would give that a B+. I kind of like that. It wasn't actually that bad. And then you have the women's championship where Bayley defeated Io Sky to win the title. That match was amazing. I'll give it an A-. Undisputed Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. We know how it went. I mean, this is a whole big monster match. And I give that an A++. Think it was awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, other than that, there's really nothing else. This show was a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys on the TikTok live side of things enjoyed it. I appreciate all the support, guys, here on our show here today on the Fire Sports Pod. I'm your host, Zack Jackson. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday afternoon, and I'll catch you guys on Friday for another podcast of Season 3, Episode 5. This is Season 3, Episode 4. Just to recap, we went over the NBA playoff predictions, not playoff predictions, but playoff seedings and what's going into if the playoffs started today. We went over the NHL seedings if it started today and my picks to go to the Stanley Cup Finals and to win it. We're going to be doing another one sooner down the line. And then we went over WWE WrestleMania 40, which had some fireworks. The best match of all was Cody Rhodes getting the illustrious WWE Undisputed Championship, and finally paying tribute to his father, Dusty Rhodes, and finally finishing the story. It was a great run for Roman Reigns and the Tribal Chief, but we will see what happens next with him and Paul Heyman and the Bloodline. But for the Fire Sports Pod and Zack Jackson, we are done. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys on Friday. Peace out.